So, this is my first podcast video, and I would just like to read a verse. A few, actually. Today I'm going to start in Genesis, and it's going to be Genesis 1:6. No, Genesis 1:9. So, I'm going to read it to you guys, and then I'm going to talk about what he's talking about. And then in the next episode, I'll talk more about how it all became and how there's different conspiracy theories and different opinions and ideas on what he was doing. So I'm going to read this to you guys, and then I'm going to talk about it. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless, and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness He called light. And there was evening and there was morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be an expanse between the waters to separate the water from water." So God had made the expanse, and it separated the water under the expanse from the water above it. And it was so. God called the expanse sky, and there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. God said, "Let there be water under the sky, be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and gathered waters He called seas. And God saw that it was good. So that was Genesis 1:9. And what he's technically saying, I would say in my opinion, is it's basically describing on what he's actually doing, on what he created. The dry land is the land that we have now, but back then it was drier, it was harsher. When we get deeper into Genesis, he describes Adam and Eve. As everyone knows, Adam and Eve he created. Then something came along and messed up with what Eve thought, or what Eve knew that nobody told them, that God didn't tell them. And then further down the line, we'll get into more details about God's Son. But for right now, what he's basically saying is that he's creating what everybody calls now. Like, we'll text or call or say good morning to everybody, to anyone that we know. We'll text and call, say good morning, good evening, good night. We don't call evening middle of the day, because some people do say that, and that's fine if you do, but it's not what the actual name is. Most conspiracy theories say that Mars was the original Earth, but it got dried up because it was so close to the sun. Now, Earth is, I believe, the 4th or 5th planet away from the sun. So we do get heat, but it's only if we're in a heat wave. Now, heat waves go between planets and go beyond the space, basically space. And most likely, I would say in my opinion, is that we should have kept the way things were said in the Bible. Now, if what he was describing by "let there be light," he was making sure Earth wasn't pitch black. It wasn't just all darkness where you couldn't see anything, because if it was, and if he said And if he didn't say let there be light, we wouldn't have light today. Obviously, it's basic knowledge, basically. And the one part that kind of, like, gets me in the head is let there be water above it. Now, I'm still trying to figure out, what does it mean? Why did he say it? Why was it said? Because he didn't want water to be above us. He wanted water to be below us. But he said he said something about dispense water above it. He was basically saying let there be color in the light. Now, he will describe more further down into the Bible once we get further down. Now, basically most people say that, like, some say we live in a globe where there's water above us and there's water below us, so we're in the middle. And I have thought about it, but why think about it when in the Bible it just says he calls dry the places that are dry land? So why would there be land in the middle of water? If water is above us and water is below us, why are we right here? Why is there land in water? There shouldn't be anything. Later on, he also describes coral. It's underwater plants, and he describes fish and animals and stuff. So later on in the next episode, I will be talking about that, and that is my opinion, and I will be having a guest on the podcast soon. So hope you guys have a good day, and God bless.